structures as if being more nouns. For instance, structure-wise, this was an abdomen. But subdivision-wise, we are describing a subdivision. To describe something, you use an, what do we use, an adjective? So when we talk about it's a little grammar lesson, right? So when we talk about the subdivision, this is not an abdomen for a subdivision. It is a abdominal subdivision. So think about adjectives here. And it's important because on the practical, I will have pins. So obviously, I'm not going to have 50 pins kind of going around the abdomen structure or abdominal subdivision. Instead, I'll have one pin, but you can always say, you know what, can you clarify, like, what exactly is this, what is this composed of, you know? So I can simply take a blunt probe, a pencil, whatever, and I can literally say, okay, this is the actual subdivision that I need. For instance, so this is going to be abdominal. If it's dead center and that's all, this will then be the umbilical. So let's go a little bit up. So this is going to be frontal, otic, orbital, oral, nasal, mental. Think about mental. You're plotting revenge. That's where you're putting your hands towards your chin. So this is mental. This is going to be buccal, right around here, the cheek area. Now, a rat is really muscular, so it's not always easy to see, but this little kind of bump right here, this is equivalent to a shoulder. So this is acromial. And if we kind of pull the rat back a little bit, this over here, the armpit, is going to be the axillary. So think about from top to bottom, we can kind of alphabetize this. AC is on top, AX is on the other side, the opposite side, on the bottom. Now this rat definitely is a little challenging. I may have to break it only because I want to be able to move it around, and right now I can't. Okay, so we're actually seeing this elbow right here. If we go towards the front of the bend right here, this is going to be the antecubital. This over here is going to be the antebrachial, the forearm. This area right here is going to be the carpal, so the wrist. Right before this padding is going to be the palmar. These little fingers are going to be the digital. This over here is the sternal, just dead center. Off to the side is going to be the pectoral. Think about the pectoral muscles. Let's see what else. We've talked about umbilical. Now, this is a male, so anything near the scrotum or near where the penis would kind of enter or exit out, rather. This would be the genital subdivision. Anything above it, right about here, would be the pubic. Pubic right here, pelvic is going to be right here. Now, coxal is, think about coxal like hips. So something off to the side right here, or off to the side right about here is going to be your coxal. If we go now to flip it back, we're going to see this is going to be the vertebrae. So anything along the vertebrae itself, so this is vertebral. So in terms of subdivision, this is vertebral. When you kind of feel the rat, you can feel these shoulder blades. So this is going to be, what do you guys think?
Scapular?
There we go, scapular. Alright, when you're going off to the lower part right about here, say about here and about here, this is going to be lumbar. When you go towards the base of the tail, the rat really does not have an obvious butt. It doesn't really need to have really well developed muscles there. So, but this is going to be the gluteal subdivision. The next thing that we're going to look at, and let me just make sure I can easily skin this a little further, just to make it easier. Oh, it's a little late for me on that, but that's okay. I'm just going to take this off a little bit. So right now, this is where you can actually see the kneecap of the rat. This is actually a heel of a rat, just for reference. So this over here is going to be the femoral. Now off to the side, right over here, this is going to be the fibular. This is the patellar, the kneecap itself. Completely opposite of that, like right here, just that point would be the popliteal. This, all this towards the back would be surole. Surole, soccer player, the really well-developed gastrocnemius muscles. Goofy way to remember it, but that's surole. Again, fibular, and the shin, I suppose that you call this. This is going to be the crural. Now, lastly, you can feel these little points on each side. One right here as well as one right here. This is going to be the tarsal. This actual, it's a broken leg, but this actual tip right here, this is the heel. So calcaneal, heel, something like that. So calcaneal is right over here. Plantar is right here, and then of course digital are just going to be the fingers, the toes at this point. And it's a cool fact because rats don't walk on their heels like we do, they walk on their tippy toes. They're always wearing imaginary high heels. Alright, so I'm going to... the patellar is going to be right here, just the bend right here.
And the tarsals were like on the front side of the heel, right?
Just right over here and right over here, more lateral and medial. Yeah.
So is that kind of like an ankle?
Those are ankles. Tarsals are going to be ankles. We have those as well. We call them tarsals too.
Did you say there's a genital region, a pelvic region, and a pubic region?
The genital portion where the genitals are, that is going to be the pubic region. Above the pubic region is the pelvic region.